There's something particular about the energy that is here with us tonight as I do this reading for you. Something that feels just familiar, not something new and not something distant, but something like someone you once knew that still lingers in the air around you. And you've asked whether they can still feel you, whether they still see you, whether love survives absence, and they heard you. Before a single message forms, there's a presence here, steady, warm, and watching. You've carried so much more than anyone knows, and they see the weight you never speak about. You've been holding yourself together longer than you were ever meant to. They know. And while you might hold yourself out as being the strong one, the one that always keeps everything and everyone around them together, they know, they sense the pain that you are going through. They see you when you sit in your room, when everyone else is gone, how you shut down and you cry and you feel at your most vulnerable. They understand this about you, and they want you to know that they are sitting there right beside you at the lowest moments of your life. There's a story here that's unfolding, not just theirs, but yours. Threads that never stopped connecting you. Perhaps words that were never spoken, or feelings that didn't end when their breathing did. You thought the story stopped. It didn't. I feel the presence here of someone who loved in a very complicated way. Not loudly, not perfectly, but someone who loved deeply. Someone who felt everything and said very little. Someone who wished that they could have shown more, maybe perhaps softened a little bit more, or expressed themselves more. But love was there even when their silence was louder. The energy is very much so of masculine energy, that of a person that didn't like to be confronted, that didn't like their authority being questioned. But what I also see is the softer side of them, that although in their head they may have been thinking these things, their heart showed a whole different perspective of who they really were. They were actually a very kind and loving person who had trouble expressing those thoughts and feelings in real life. The energy around me tells me that they thought that they had more time to come to terms with these inner thoughts and feelings in the way that they held back from expressing them before their life was cut short. And yes, there are still memories here that still sting. Misunderstandings, distance, moments where their pride, fear, or timing pulled you two apart. There are things they wish they had handled differently, and there are words they wish they could rewrite. And they carry awareness now, not regret. And they're reaching to you from the other side to let you know that although they're not regretting the way things were, they are now open to showing you the love that they had for you. There were definitely moments when connection felt fragile, when it felt easier to withdraw than to confront what felt overwhelming. But they want you to know that pain was never the intention, even though they walked away from you during those toughest moments of your relationship. But they also want you to know that it did exist. They understand that. They understand that they were both the cause of your pain, but they also are showing me that they were on the receiving end of that pain as well. And yet, there was also love. There was so much love there for you, even though you didn't think so at the time. There's a pause here, or a shift in the energy, like someone who's been quiet for a long time and finally they're finding the courage to speak. It feels like rest is ending, like a long-held silence is beginning to crack. You may feel that in yourself, that tug between wanting to stay numb and knowing you can't stay frozen forever. There's exhaustion here, but not just physical, emotional. The kind of tired that comes from carrying memories alone, from replaying moments, from pretending that you've stopped feeling something that still moves in you. There's a heaviness that says, I've stayed still long enough. And then also there's something else, a pulse and a soft return of life. Not something loud, not something forced, just an awakening. Almost like you're remembering how to feel without falling apart. You didn't heal by forgetting. You survived by holding everything inside until you couldn't face it without breaking. And then something softer enters the picture. This light, quiet but persistent, reaching you from somewhere beyond logic or beyond this world. There's hope here, but a fragile kind of hope, the kind that doesn't demand anything from you, and it comes to you more like a whisper. You're allowed to believe in something again. It doesn't ask you to be okay, and it doesn't ask you to move on. It doesn't ask you to replace what was lost. It just offers the smallest thread of possibility. That love didn't disappear, that connection didn't dissolve, that what mattered still matters, and it feels like guidance, like protection, like a hand you can't see, but somehow you can still feel it guiding you through life. A reminder you were never grieving alone. There's a feeling here of effort that once felt endless, but eventually stopped. Not because you didn't care and not because they didn't care, but because the situation reached a point where trying felt painful. There may have been things that you wished you could fix or conversations you replayed in your head, attempts to repair or reach deeper that never quite landed the way your heart hoped that they would. There's an emotional fatigue here, the kind that builds when someone keeps giving pieces of themselves without knowing if any of it mattered. And you may be asking yourself, could I have tried harder? Should I have done more? Did I give up too soon? And whether you ever voiced those thoughts or held them quietly inside your chest, they heard them. There's a quiet acknowledgement coming through, not of failure, not of regret, but of truth. Some connections aren't meant to be perfect. Some are meant to be experienced. Love doesn't always look like completion, and sometimes it looks like effort or tenderness or trying. And even when neither person knew how to bridge the space between them, what happened or didn't happen was not a measure of your worth. You showed up with what you had. They showed up with what they could. And even if the journey wasn't tidy, clean, or complete, the love was real. It is now time for us to delve a little deeper into the hidden messages from the oracle as your loved one reaches to you from the other side. They want you to know that they feel light now, like laughter, softness, and warmth, that this is not the ending, it's not the struggle. They exist in a version of themselves that's untouched by pain. There is a gentle vulnerability in them now. The walls have come down. They don't hold back anymore like they used to. Here on the other side, nothing is guarded. Nothing is left unspoken. They don't want you living in the memory of what was, of what caused you pain, what caused you hurt. They want you to remember the connection, not the fracture. You don't have to stay in the moment where they left. There is peace now. No conflict, no unresolved battle. Nothing left to fight. They understand now. They understand you. They understand the connection, the depth of what was shared, and understanding has arrived in silence after life for them. There is this presence that is watching you, not haunting, not clinging, but protecting. When you feel something near you for no reason, that isn't emptiness, it's them. Your loved one on the other side wants to stress that there is nothing but peace in their life right now. There is no conflict. There is no unresolved battle left to fight with anyone, not with you, not within themselves, and they live a very peaceful existence where their soul is at rest. They are showing me that their life's mission here on earth was complete at the time of their passing. There was nothing left for them to learn, not here. They lived the life that they were meant to live, the one that they chose to live, that their soul wanted to live and experience. When these energies sit together, something powerful rises, a theme of rest after struggle, reflection after effort, that nothing more could have been done. It feels like a door gently closing, not one that is slammed or abandoned, but closed with reverence. This connection wasn't unfinished because it failed. It remained open because the heart refused to stop loving. But now something new is happening. Not forgetting, not erasing, not replacing, but integration. You're no longer living inside that wound. You're learning to carry the memory without being cut by it. This is the part of the journey where grief stops being a battle and becomes a companion. When where longing softens into love, where regret loosens its grip, where breath returns. There's a message here that's almost whispered. You don't have to keep fighting the past. You don't have to keep trying to fix what was never broken. And some endings aren't failures. Some endings are transitions. This connection didn't stop for you. It simply changed form. And just now, you're learning to walk with it. Your past is not showing up right now to make you feel haunted or that you are being watched or invaded in any way. It is there to remind you of what you had, where you are right now, and that your loved one on the other side is looking out for you and watching you as you move forward in your life, as you regain your footing and you take your next steps. You look at the final messages from your loved one on the other side. They want you to know that there is flow here, a bond that never stopped moving between worlds, between the here and there. A longing that shaped both of you, a love that rebirths itself in every memory, and a connection bound beyond time, contract, and body. And then the energy returns to where it began, not where it ended, but where it transformed.